Welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out, where we deep dive into ClickFunnels 2.0 and how to use it to grow your funnel building business.
Hey, I'm Susan.
And I'm Andrea.
Come along with us as we learn and discover how to use the new ClickFunnels and how to make it bend to our will. All right, guys. Hello. I'm Susan.
I'm Andrea.
This is Andrea. We have an exciting update to tell you about. You may have seen the post that we put into the group, but probably a lot of you I don't think did. That's okay. We're going to talk about it today. And Andrea, I'm going to check. I don't know if did you check our audio? Let me make sure we're good there.
Yeah, it sounds good on my Facebook. I'm watching comments, so I think it's all official.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
So I'll kind of tee you up for for talking about it. But basically this past week we got an update, and this was you can share a screen.
Okay.
We saw this was in the Funnel Hacking Live group.
Yes.
And it was from an admin in that group. So take that for what it's worth. We understand like not very many people have accurate information, but we're taking this for what it is. So
and we know there's a really small group of people that actually know what's going on in like the ClickFunnels world. So yeah.
So hopefully this is like accurate, and we're gonna move forward as if it is. But here, I'll read it for you, and then what we're gonna do is break it down. And you're gonna give your thoughts. We can just talk about what we think it is. What's going on here, because it feels like we're getting a really good update, but also it feels like no, they kind of left a lot of room for interpretation here.
So true.
Okay, so it says December 1st, so this update came out on December 1st, ClickFunnels 2.0 update. Funnel hubs will be finished in the next few weeks for beta testers to try out, as well as courses, which are coming along quite nicely. Beta testers will not be charged in January as originally agreed upon, and we will send out a message on an updated timeframe, most likely in April, that you would be potentially charged. You'll get a 30-day heads up before any payments are charged. Okay, so that was the update we were given. Your thoughts?
So I remain wildly optimistic.
Me too.
So what I hope this means is that yes, in the month of November, December, in the month of December, we will actually get our hands on the editor at a minimum. So which will give us a ton of more insight into like what this thing actually is going to look and feel like. So we'll get access to the editor, and that we get and this is where I know my overly idealistic perspective of the world comes in. And I'm so looking forward to your perspective, Susan. Mm-hmm. And I know we talked to Dan, but is that it will be something that we can launch live. So that for beta testers, that it can be something that if we have editor, we can at least release into a production environment where real people can interact with the real thing. But what's interesting about that, and then I'll be quiet and hand it over to you, is that when we think about funnel hubs, we create a lot of what we call funnel nexuses, which are the same thing as hubs. They're just 100% on ClickFunnels, right? In order to do a hub, the whole essence of a hub is to launch into other funnels, right? Like you don't drive traffic to a hub, like it's just for the purpose of like the website equivalent in the ClickFunnels world. So what's interesting about them releasing the hub is that it has that means we have to be able to create a lead gen funnel and a sales funnel and an opt-in funnel, right? Like these things are what comes off of a hub. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it's something where it's going to be like they allow us to create it, but it's really just like a souped up opt-in with a coming soon waitlist option. And then it opens up the question of the integrations, right? Of like, well, the purpose of the hub at a minimum is to help people direct into a funnel and create a waitlist concept, right? So then it opens up the door for like, well, what does that mean in terms of integrations and email capture? And are we going to get then access also to their version of hopefully new and improved autoresponder capabilities? So that's my initial take on it. But yes, so interesting to hear what you have to say.
That's really optimistic, because along with this update, so not on the post that we're currently looking at, but the original post that we extracted this from, there is another admin in the comments answering someone's question of like, are we gonna be able to use this live? And then this particular person commented, which, like I said, is another admin of the group. I don't have it in front of me, so this isn't going to be verbatim, but basically like, you won't be able to use anything live until the official launch of 2.0. So again, I don't know if that's accurate information or if that's just like a misunderstanding. To me, that doesn't feel right because like I think maybe you just said it, but if you didn't say it here, it was the other day when we were talking about it. But like the whole purpose of a beta is to get like real live testing done. And you can't do that if you're not sending actual live traffic to it. So at some point before the official launch, we have to be able to be running it live so that we can get all of the kinks out and make sure that everything's working. And also, like, let's kind of speculate on this time frame of like when we're going to get charged for it for a moment, because I think it has to do with it. So the original plan was basically the private beta group, which is what Andrea and I are in, and anyone that was at Funnel Hacking Live that signed up are considered private beta. And we were supposed to be getting access to it almost, what my thought was almost immediately after we had signed up. But that was supposed to be like the October timeframe. That obviously got pushed. And then it was supposed to be January was going to be, I don't know if it's considered open beta. I don't get these terms quite right, but I consider it open beta, where it's still in beta, but it's opened a little bit, it's opened up to, I guess that's not really considered open beta, but it was like a next level of beta where you can bring in by invite only more people. And then after that, it was going to be like another 3 months for when they actually launch it to everyone live. So it feels like we've kind of shifted that like 3 to 4 months now. And we were, so with that said, we were originally going to get charged in January, which means we still would have been in beta and not officially launched yet. And now that they're saying it won't be until April that happens, like for us to not be able to put our stuff live until the official launch occurs doesn't make sense, because we're already going to be getting charged. If we're going to start getting charged before it actually officially launches, then ClickFunnels will be charging us to use it, but we aren't actually able to use it to make money yet, which doesn't feel right. Like ethically, it doesn't feel right, and it doesn't feel right like just logistically for testing. So I don't know that I'm taking this comment from this particular person you're seeing on the screen now for what it's actually like. I'm not taking it at face value, because that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
so I'm optimistic like you, Andrea, and like hoping like we will be able to use it live when we are able to build stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think you raise a great point about the charging. Plus, just on the not feeling right, I feel like ClickFunnels really does sincerely want us to be successful with their product, right? Yeah. Like they want us to cost justify. And so, one of those not feeling right factors for sure. And then from a technical standpoint, right, let's just break down what that might mean. Let's just say it's true that we can't use it live, right, when they release it. So we have the beta environment, and then we'll have what they call production environment, right? Like we all are working in production environment. Okay, so if they only release the beta environment, right, and we can't actually like put our funnel live, right? Well, that raises a ton of questions in terms of like, so that must mean they might have like a publishing feature now, right? Mm-hmm. And then if they have a publishing feature, then is there like an auto save feature? You know what I mean? If I don't want to put it live, then there's some other like saving mechanism that has to be handled. And then when I do that, right now, the way the editor is like, how many times does preview actually not allow us to do the preview? Like we actually have to look at the funnel in the production environment in order to see some of the changes that we've made, especially with some of integrations or custom code. So like, if it is truly a beta, you know what I mean? Then it's like, okay, well then they have to give us the ability to preview somehow, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yet in a real, like how people would actually see it, or else there's no point in preview. Right. So it raises a bunch of like, in order technically for that to be supported and for them to like block it off from publishing into production, that's a crap ton of work that to me takes away from like actual money generating features.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't make sense to me either, just from a how you allocate your resources in the development environment standpoint. But
yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, so I guess time will tell what it's like. With that in mind, like I'm going to go a little bit on a tangent away from talking about timeline and everything. But the features that you just mentioned of like, so currently ClickFunnels is like once you make your changes in the editor and then you save it, like it's live. Anything that you change and save, it's live automatically. There is no way to save like a draft version of your page. So I actually am hoping that they make that a feature because that would be really nice. But yeah, so it seems like they may be doing something a little bit different with that if we're not going to be able to make it live. But on like I said, like I'm not sure that I'm going to take this comment at face value because there's too many reasons why it doesn't make sense to me for them to do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Right. And they keep saying like, they keep talking about the launch, and I don't know if you guys are on. So Russell uses the community app, which again, just don't get me started on that app. They've done a brilliant job marketing and getting some high influencers, but it's a pretty closed system. But all that to say, if you're on his text messaging with the community, right? Like you were saying, Susan, like he has been dropping little, open-ended, comments of like, we're working on something big, something's coming. And I'm like 2.0. Maybe.
What is it?
But who knows? And then I think one other really interesting thing is that we're starting to see, this is shifting gears actually. So before I do that, I was going to shift over to what we were talking about on Wednesday with their goal to get 1 million users on ClickFunnels. So do you want to shift there? Or
yeah, sure. Let's do it.
That comment? Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can actually pull it up.
Sorry, I made you stop sharing.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So this was brought to our attention by Dan Havey, of course. Wonderful Dan.
Shout out to Dan.
Shout out to Dan. So this is and I took pictures. I'm going to just share my screen and then I'll try to also get the screenshots. So the company that they acquired, right, that had like Doodly and the whiteboard and all that other stuff, right? So brand new product, which is super freaking cool, by the way. Did you end up getting it?
I haven't played with it, but I watched Dan's stuff that he was sending us, like his video of him playing around with it.
It's so cool. So if you struggle with making like product, like offer stack images and product images, which I don't know about you, Susan, but making those in Canva, it's possible, but it's so hard.
It's so hard. I don't do it in Canva. I do them like custom, like in an actual like graphic design program.
Yeah.
And my clients pay me money to make those. Like they'll come to me and just ask me to make those graphics for them because they're like, it's really hard for the average person to just make them.
Yeah. And I think the reason why it's so hard is because they have, in visual design terms, they have what we call perspective, right? So like when you're trying to get something into like a 3D perspective, Canva doesn't really support doing that. And so it's really, it's hard. It's really hard.
And even like the graphics, like I'll say like I make these custom graphics and even like the perspective style, I actually just avoid it altogether because it takes way too long to make them.
Yeah.
So I'm like really excited for this. But also on the other hand, I'm like, dang it. Like now if people buy this, I'm not going to be able to like have that as a revenue stream. But that's okay. That's a very small part of my business.
Well, but I could see people paying you to do it in this tool because you still need some design chops, I think, in order to get this right.
Yeah. And if you are, most people in this group in CF 2.0 Geek Outs, you guys are building funnels more regularly than the average business owner. If it's someone who just needs to have like 1 or 2 graphics made, they're maybe like, I don't want to go and buy a whole program and learn how to use it just for those couple of graphics. I'd rather just pay somebody to do it, right? So for those of us that do this, like our funnel builders, and we're making stuff for clients, this is a game changer. It's so cool. Okay. Do you have it? Are you going to demo it or anything? Or are you just telling them about it?
I can totally demo it. You know what I was looking for? I was actually looking for I took the swipe files. So the interesting thing, and they're not coming up right now, and I'll try to find them. But the most interesting thing about this is that when you buy it, so you buy the main offer, and then I think they have an upsell to like the souped up VIP version, right? But then the OTO2 and the OTO3, OTO2, guess what it is? It's Russell Brunson's One Funnel Away. OTO3 is Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets. So we're beginning to see this mass movement of integration with these these systems that they have acquired, which to me, I got super excited when Susan and I were
yes,
talking.
she did.
In the tech world, like I can't even express how difficult it is to do integrations, because you can imagine that like one company has their list of people, and the way that they handle that data set and the metadata on it and how they capture it and what they do with it, right, is completely different probably than the company that acquired them, aka ClickFunnels, in terms of how do you manage your data set and your customers and all, like how do you just manage that whole system. And being able to integrate those two systems, it's not just about like sharing a list, right? Because there's also like how do you dedupe, and like it's a complicated thing. And so when I saw ClickFunnels straight up integrated into the process, the purchase path, to me, that is like one giant leap in terms of integration of a massive database of customers for potential candidates and adopters of ClickFunnels. So that was super exciting just in terms of that step towards 1 million users, which only makes us collectively, I think, stronger, who are super advocates of ClickFunnels.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. And I think that's also a testament to like how funnels, just using funnels makes that easier for people. Like the pages, like, so the pages that were there to buy this software picks, were nice. Like they were designed out, they were branded to the picks. And then you get to the OTO 2 and 3, which are total Russell Brunson, like one funnel away challenge. And I forgot what the other one was.
Traffic Secrets.
It was Russell Brunson pages. Like it was, it kind of broke the branding mold of the first 2 pages in the funnel, which were totally picks branded. Like this page that you're seeing where it's like blue and yellow. And then all of a sudden we were in like a standard Russell Brunson page of upsell page. And so like it literally looked like they just duplicated one of his existing pages, slapped it into this funnel, and there you go. Like then it was like, okay, game on. We'll see how many people buy this upsell. Like it probably didn't take them a whole lot of work to do that piece of it. Yeah. But it's really cool to see, because when companies acquire and buy other companies, they still feel like they're separate. It's like, okay, they bought that company, but it's like still kind of on its own. Like they may be ownership over it, but it's like, run by other people. Like it's a whole different thing. Like they probably don't even have their hands in it at all. But it feels like, okay, we have companies like actually coming together.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And I'm just getting into it now. Yeah.
Okay. So shout out to Dan. Dan, we did give you a shout out, but Dan's the one that brought this to our attention, this PIX program.
Yes.
I think it seems to be like an invite, a select group of people. I don't know what Dan said. Maybe Dan, in the comments you can say.
Dan, put your link
what list. Drop your link in, but also like what list you would be on to even know about this, because like I'm on ClickFunnels email list and I didn't know about this until Dan told me. Like I don't have the email inviting me to this software, so I don't know what list we have to be on to get the invite to this software. I mean, I don't think it's any sort of secret. They're gonna want to sign up as many people as they can, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Little one.
So back. No affiliate program, he said. Well, Dan, if you want to share the link here, or if you do have an affiliate, please feel free to, if they do drop it. But, and it's trying to load now. He said, I'm on every CF list. I also bought Voomly. Maybe it's Voomly actually, because I bought Doodly, but I didn't buy Voomly. I'm wondering if that's it, Dan, which actually that's a huge piece of the puzzle, because if that means that ClickFunnels doesn't actually, they're not doing outreach to the Voomly audience yet. This might be the first step in trying to get the Voomly audience over to ClickFunnels audience. Hi, little guy. Thanks for joining us. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this all works, because there's going to be like different markets and we may not be finding things out all at the same time. One area, Voomly's people might be finding out about things before ClickFunnels people, just because that makes sense to market it to them first, because they're already like, drinking the Kool-Aid on certain things. Yeah. And we might get, first notice of other softwares or products that Russell's putting out. So maybe we need to just be all signed up to all these different
I know, seriously, I think so. I think if we really want to keep a pulse on like all the things, I think now I'm going to go out and like sign up to every single sub product of like Doodly and Voomly and like what are all of them? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and he's saying they ran a seminar to sell CF to Voomly database in August. That's interesting. I wonder then if it's only that cross, that cross. The interesting thing is that they're not reaching out to just pure ClickFunnels customers with this product. They're almost going the other way of people who bought that product and reaching over. So that is interesting. Okay, and then just what's happening on my end is I'm trying to restart it to show you guys this. And all right, here we go. It's loading. But yeah, that's super interesting, Dan. I didn't, and again, the seminar, like I don't remember getting an email or anything about the seminar. So interesting just to be able to see what's happening with on the back end with all of these products in terms of how they're going to go about distributing and targeting people. There's probably a marketing lesson in and of itself there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Ivy's asking down in the comments, how do you like Voomly? I don't know. What products have you bought from? You've got
just Doodly.
Doodly. Okay.
Yeah, just Doodly and then some advanced Doodly stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, it'll be fun to see how they start integrating everything, especially the 2.0 coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so this is new. And so basically Dan actually made an amazing one that he shared. I don't know, Dan, if you want to share that in the group, but so basically, like books, for instance, that's one of the most popular ones, right? In terms of like if you're selling a book as like a lead gen strategy. So super cool. You can pick a bunch of different ones. They already have some templates in here that you could go about, changing.
If you buy the upsell, you will have templates.
This is if you buy the upsell. Yeah. So so it'll load here in a second, and which this in and of itself is really cool. But then so I can go ahead and edit this, make it 100% mine. I won't do any shameless plugs right now, but journey crafting, I'll just leave this as is. And then if I go to like 3D preview, what it does is it basically puts it into the 3D image that you selected. So that in and of itself is freaking amazing, and would save bundles of time. But you can see here that like the 101, this main book is a little bit tilted too far in, right? And it's not really like if I was thinking about a full bundle. So I could do something like this, right?
You can manipulate it.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking amazing.
Go crazy and like show them like how it moves, like all the ways it moves. Like you can literally move it any direction you want and your images are on it. That's so cool.
Yeah, that is game changing, amazing. Or like, even like, I mean, oh my gosh, you could think, oh my God, that'd be so fun to like play. And then you put like a little, what I mean? A little iPhone here with the video player or whatever it is, if you want the audio version. Yeah.
Like you can get real creative with this.
Yeah. So freaking cool. So, and that's just one. And again, Dan, even like he'll show you, like you can do a full stack. I've just begun to play with this. So just so freaking amazingly cool. Awesome. So that's, but that in of itself is an amazing product, but just the way that they're managing the list and starting to market, I think is fascinating. And to your point, Susan, on, that they had just pretty much like 100% ClickFunnels branding. Most of the time for customers, when you do a dramatic shift in the branding, it's pretty jarring and it actually decreases trust when that happens. So I'm wondering as they start to progress, if these companies, I don't know, like how they're going to bridge that gap, right? Because you're not going to like change branding of a company, but just to be able to bridge that gap for people better, will be interesting.
It's a very good point. I almost think like, when we all know about bridge pages where it's like, you're bridging that gap between like, okay, this is how you know me. I got to put in this bridge page to then tell you why I'm sending you over to this other page. It's almost like they're going to need to do some sort of, not a bridge page specifically. I was just using that as a very poor example, but, like let's say you're going through the funnel and we've got like picks page, like you're signing up for picks, and then you've got their upsell and it's all picks branding. Now this particular company and these particular, like this product, the colors aren't that far off from ClickFunnels, but it definitely has its own branding. Like we've got these little characters on the page. Like if you show the page behind that window right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Like this. Yeah. This
yeah.
branding is
And then,
very different.
and then
than
you get
ClickFunnels.
to Russell's One Funnel Away upsell page, which is not the same as his One Funnel Away like registration page, which is like full, like branded out in blue and like it's like styled. But the upsell page was like very white and like had the dotted line boxes. It was like a very template style upsell page. So I think maybe they just are going to need to update the pages so they look. I feel like it can be the same content. It can be the ClickFunnels content, One Funnel Away content, but they need to just like style the page a little bit more so that it feels like it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done videos on that exact topic of like as soon as you hit a page and it no longer feels like it fits, like you lose trust so fast. And it's like, I don't know about this. I don't think I want this. Yeah.
Yep. So true. And it's, and even I wonder too, even to have a page where you're like bridging the two brands together, right? Like, if the Pix branding is all these little cartoon characters, right? I can almost imagine the sales page being like, I want to introduce Russell Brunson. You know what I mean? Like, so you bridge the gap because all of us who know and love Russell, right? When we get to the OFA challenge, we're like, yes, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But for those folks that don't know who he is, all of a sudden there's this weird dude shaking his hands at you, trying to give you, trying to make you buy something,
Right.
like and where versus here, I'm like, interacting with these fun little doodly things, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden there's this weird marketing guy waving his hands at me, and it's, yeah.
Yeah, and Dan just that mentioned in the comments they still have old videos from Brad Callen. I'm assuming that's someone that is from Voomly. So keeping consistent branding for now. Like, yeah, I wouldn't expect them to change any branding with the other companies that they are acquiring.
Right.
But they do need to figure out some way to mesh them together. If they're going to continue putting funnels together where it's offers from different companies. So we've got offers from Voomly now with Pix, and we've got offers from ClickFunnels with Russell Brunson, and now they're together in one funnel, but it can get to the point where it feels a little disconnected. So
yeah, absolutely.
Just sit back and watch and see what he does.
Yep. Brad is the former owner. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. And I'm trying to just do one more deep dive just so I can show you guys exactly that transition that we're talking about, because I think sometimes it's hard to visualize without the actual visual. So let me just do one really quick look. Is there anything else, Susan, that we might be forgetting in terms of like updates? We're not seeing anything in terms of release or anything that I've seen.
No. So I think, like the update post that we were talking about at the beginning of this live said, like, they're saying one person, one admin in an official ClickFunnels group, not the official ClickFunnels group, but in the Funnel Hacking Live group, which is an official ClickFunnels group. They are saying in the next few weeks, they're going to be finishing up funnel hubs to give beta access to them. I'm taking that as January because we've got holidays coming up, and that's going to be like, I don't think they're going to be rushing to get it to us. And like, also, like, if you read between the lines, it specifically says they're finishing it up in the next few weeks. That doesn't mean they're giving it to us in the next few weeks. So who knows? Yeah. But I'm hopeful for January. And when that comes and we're able to get access, and again, we're crossing our fingers that we'll be able to use them live right away. But in the circumstance that we can't use them live, we're still going to be able to be in there building stuff and playing around with it. And so when that happens, Andrea and I, and Dan's going to be in here, we're going to be showing like what we're able to do, what we're using it for. I think once we go into funnel hubs and making our own funnel hubs, we're going to show you like what our strategies are going to be, what we're putting on our pages. So there's going to be a lot of content based around like what we are going to be using these features for in our own businesses.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And I think I found it.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Let me pull it up here. And I think I have all of them in here. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay. So, and hopefully I'm going to try to blow this up so you guys can see it. Okay. So you can see here, this is like the VIP page, right? So this is the main sales page. Like, yes, get the PYKS, right?
Mm-hmm.
picks, and then standard, enterprise, and so then you like start the order form, right? So then you go in, they use a typical funnel strategy, of course, but then they have this upsell. So here's the upsell. You can see like the branding is very much in this like cool Elvis character, fun. It's just like very, very playful and fun. And that's the branding on this. So then somebody says yes, or I want to, I don't want to upgrade, or yes. Then the next screen that they go to is this. So, and let me just zoom in so you can see like that dramatic shift, right? And it just says up here, customize your order, so like step 2 of 3 is the only branding. So you can imagine that you don't know Russell at all. You don't know ClickFunnels. You have no idea, right? But it like the message wise, it makes sense. But I'm going from this fun doodle, I'm buying something, to this total dramatic shift.
It is a very dramatic shift.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. I mean, I don't think we'd ever know this, but it would be interesting to see what their conversion rate is on these.
Yeah. Well, and what's even more interesting for all the copywriters in the house, right? The only bridge messaging that they've have in here is want step-by-step help turning the products you create into products you get paid for. That's interesting, right? Like in terms of like a messaging to the world, which for all of the people that are there in the business trying to convert people into funnels, right? I would definitely be watching all of these, upsell pages because this is copy trying to do just that. But I don't know that would be enough to bring somebody, you know what I mean? Like it feels like too big of a jump. I don't know that somebody would really, and then it gets even more weird because then it goes into the next OTO is this traffic secrets,
was totally different branding.
Totally different branding. And also like kind of weird in terms of the product itself. You know what I mean? Because it's like one follow-away challenge, I could totally see the bridge. But then going to traffic secrets, and actually this is the top because the page is really long. So my one page, so just going in on this. So you still see this Russell dude, right? But then it's like, stop.
You still have the picks up at the top and it says step 3 of 3, 4.
Yep. But now we're completely away from their branding other than their logo. This is 100% ClickFunnels kind of branding behind there.
Yeah.
And then do you want to send more of your dream customers straight to the products and services you're creating? So again, it's like so interesting, you know what I mean? In terms of the people that are using this, like, could they bridge the gap to like, who is this Russell guy? And like, why am I getting pitched this when I'm just trying to buy something to make products look cool?
Yeah.
I
kind of relate this to like, I've been through other people's funnels where I thought that the person that I was buying from like was the person in the ad. So let me start over. So I don't know if you've ever seen those where it's like, I want to say like there was one where it was Ping June or something like someone like him. It may not have been him, where the ad was all like, buy my stuff, like come and check this thing out. And you get in there and you buy that thing. And then like the upsells, it's like, it is somebody different. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought that I was buying this. Maybe this is not the owner of these products. And they were just like pitching it for them. And they're not actually the person I'm buying from. Right. And so it kind of feels like that of like, I'm buying this really cool software from Pix, which is a brand new product. So if it's that audience, then they're gonna be like, oh, brand new software from Voomly. And then you get to these upsells where it's Russell Brunson and they're not as familiar or not at all familiar with Russell Brunson. Then it feels like almost like a bait and switch. Like, wait a minute, who did I just buy this from?
Right, exactly.
Which you're going to have some of that when now it's under new ownership. But you don't necessarily want that to be the thought going through their head when you're trying to sell them the next thing, right? And so I'm not the expert marketer, obviously. Russell is, but it would be interesting to see what their numbers are and how they would be able to get around that. And it is kind of a tough situation to be in of like, how do we bridge this gap? But also like, maybe they're like, we don't want to take the time. Maybe it's not worth taking the time and redesigning all of these pages. We just want to get it up quickly and we'll deal with that later.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other interesting thing in here is that, so, we do a lot of brand identity stuff with our customers, and it makes a huge, like one of the very first decisions is, are you branding as a business or are you branding as you? And in 90% of us as entrepreneurs, you want to brand as yourself because part of the motivation to buy is the connection to you, right? I mean, that's what we've learned. And so what we're seeing here is that, Pix is a typical Silicon Valley software where it doesn't have the brand of the owner or the person. It's the brand of the brand, right? It's a business brand.
Yeah.
And so now you're going from a business brand to a personal brand, which again is really awkward, right? Because you have to make that connection. Like, did the business brand identify Russell as like, Pix worthy? You know what I mean? Even though we know that technically Russell owns Pix, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the people who are, love Doodly and love Pix, like they love Doodly and Pix, so you have to make the connection. They don't care that Russell Brunson, this weird marketing guy, bought their company, So yeah, very, very interesting in terms of the clashing of brand strategies too.
One last thought that came to my mind when you went from the Pix upsell to Russell's One Funnel Away challenge, it felt very much like I have an ad that just popped up. Like, wait a minute.
Yes. Look at this.
Did an ad just pop up in a new window or something?
Well, what we know about Russell Brunson and like ClickFunnels, right? Why you and I have a business, right? Is that the templates and the things that come out of ClickFunnels is very infomercial. That's where it was historically made. And it doesn't look great. And it doesn't reflect a lot of brands, right?
Yeah.
Because it is kind of markety and a lot of brands don't want that. And so you can see here again, like Pix is like fun and a software and it's about what you can do with it. And then we go to ClickFunnels, which is again, very infomercial, right? Like that. Yeah. Proven to be highly successful, but just fundamentally different.
But completely different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with either style. It's just that you're putting them together now. And there's something, it just has like this weird off feeling when you get to that page. Where that page on its own, that page, the One Funnel Away page in a Russell funnel fits. Because that's what all of it looks like. And you get to that page and you're like, cool, another of the same thing. So that's all we're saying.
Yeah. So interesting. I love the clashing of the worlds though. I really do. I got to say, because I think when I came into the ClickFunnels world, I came from traditional marketing, and sales, which is much more this, right? And so when I came into ClickFunnels world and started seeing the strategy and the, like how he formats his long form sales pages, right? It's like, this is so weird, like, but we know it works. Like, yeah. So I'm so looking forward to seeing how his mastermind, bridges this gap between the two differences to help people be able to bridge that gap and buy.
Yeah. Oh, it's exciting though. It's exciting.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Andrea? Or should we do a quick
I don't think so.
recap?
No, other than just, again, thanks, Dan. He did drop the link. So for anybody interested in that, and of course, we can, I'm sure he'd be, I don't want to sign you up for work, Dan, but I'm sure happy to give more offer or, more demos of the software if you're interested. There's no affiliate. We're not trying to push it, but if you want to, maybe sign up even for the newsletter to see what's happening in the ClickFunnels world, I think it's a good secondary data point.
Awesome. Okay. I think that wraps it up for us. So
I think so. Yeah.
Recap. January, we might have 2.0. We'll see. And then we'll keep you guys updated on when we do have access to that and what we're seeing with it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then we're still planning on whenever they release stuff, we will share it and we will give you behind the scenes and what we're using. But until then, our goal is just to try to ramp up to 2.0 as best as we can and continue to go down that path.
Yeah. So next week we'll be live again here in this group. I think we have a couple of ideas of what we're going to bring to you more in the realm of like preparing. I think we're going to dive into more of like membership models. Is that right, Andrea? Like different types of membership models that there are, and like how do you know which one to pick? And that's going to be really fun. And so I think we'll do that next week, and then we'll probably be live the 17th, and then I think maybe we'll take a 1, 2 week break depending on if we get 2.0 or not before January 1st.
Watch, it's gonna drop like Christmas Eve, and we're gonna be like, we gotta get on.
Merry Christmas! Like, family. Best Christmas present, but also I don't want to mess with it around that time.
No, I know. I'm right with you.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, we will talk to you next week.
Okay, sounds good. Bye, everyone.